So it's a bit difficult to tell you something when so many other people already have told you something. And moreover, most of what we tell seems to converge to the same thing. So there is quite a bit of an overlap. So the only thing I can do actually is to emphasize the package of what I'm talking about rather than the message. One of the things that to me is quite interesting, I have one slide which I'm now going to show. This is my slide. I like to start with a sentence from an interview by Luc van Middelaar in the NRC. And the main point here is that it is an interview with Angela Merkel. And the chair asked her about her plans for the future. What story would she tell about herself? I don't have a narrative, the chancellor said. I live in the present more than many other people. The statement, the comment of Luc is a statement to suggest some reflection, but Merkel acts in the present without a wider view. Now, that to me is a very interesting type of statement. I wonder whether it's really the case. So the question is it actually the case that Merkel was living in the present and thereby trapping herself into the present? What I would like to claim as my contribution to the discussion is that precisely the converse is true. What she was saying is actually, I must be able to distinguish, to disentangle myself from the past as it is known. I can't deal with the problems that other people impose on me. I can't take their advice. I can't listen to people who claim that they have hard data. I can't listen to people who say they have education. That means that she's actually saying, I am educated. As you may know, she was a physicist and an expert in quantum mechanics. So she was relatively far advanced and well educated. But still she is saying, it is not what education is about. It is what you deny that education is about. So what she is actually saying is, maybe compared to a number of other elements in society, which is, suppose you are in traffic, then traffic doesn't tell you anything about your past. It doesn't tell you what problems you had in the past. It doesn't tell you where you want to go. It actually tells you this is what you have to adhere to as constraints, and the rest is your choice. So a lot of the structures in society do not have to do with knowledge, but with the possibility of using what has been established in society in such a way that you free yourself from that particular type of society. So when I was thinking about education, I thought, well, what is education for? Maybe I have to ask the question, what is education first before I can say what it is for? But then I realized that maybe my guiding light is Angela Merkel, who says actually, so many of the situations in society that support us actually have nothing to do with what we know, but what is constraining us such that we have the freedom to do anything we want within the constraints. And so one of the things in psychological research that has come to my attention recently is a difference that was created in the 1970s, where originally Ward Edwards was setting up experiments such that people would participate in the process of the experiment. So they would get a number of different choices, then they would get information about what information would help them make the choice. And in the course of time, in the Bayesian, by the Bayesian rule, they would learn something. But that is not what Kahneman and Tversky did. They gave people situations where they were expected to react to maybe a bet. And then, of course, it turned out that people have very bad ways of reacting to situations. They don't know statistics as a discipline. They can't apply it. They don't realize what the notion of a probability is. And therefore, Kahneman and Tversky came up with, what was it, 7 major defects on people's thinking. But in my view, what has been the case is actually that Kahneman and Tversky have destroyed the understanding that Ward Edwards was bringing. He said everybody is part of a process. In the process, you are constrained. In the process, you are free to step into the future and do whatever you can do within those constraints. So to me, a very important part of that understanding is that in psychology, you shouldn't listen to psychologists. You shouldn't listen to anybody who knows anything. I can also refer to Karl Popper, who identified his open society. And what he was opposed to is especially this notion that history and any other element in history satisfies eternal laws. They don't do that. It is we who are the eternal law. So when you would now be asking me, and what is your message to us? The message is, whatever you try to educate, don't believe in it, resist it. That's the way to be educated. And of course, this is a type of message which is extremely difficult to implement, but I can tell you that I've been teaching this now in the university, but some of you know it. I also taught this way when I was teaching 12-year-old girls mathematics. And that's how they became interested in mathematics. I didn't tell them what it is. I didn't tell them what an equation is, but they were challenged to go outside their usual thinking and to take any type of knowledge as a constraint to free yourself from.